Dear secondary stage students, year 1, welcome to our English program. Today we are going to continue Unit 10. We are going to take part 2. This is a part related to grammar. We are going to discuss together the reported speech. Are you ready for the grammar? Let's start. Before we start, we are going to discuss the objectives for our lesson today. We are going to use the reported speech to talk about what someone says. We're going to write about the past experience and use the correct punctuation marks in reported speech. Why do we use reported speech? Why do you think we use this grammar and this reported speech? Of course, we use the reported speech to report or to tell what someone has said without using their exact words. So if you wanted to repeat what someone said to you to another person, you use the reported speech. Okay. If the reporting verb in the past, we usually change the verb form to go one step or one tense back to the past. Look at this timetable. We have a direct speech and the reported speech. If the main verb is in the past tense, we are going to change all the tenses into the past. So the present simple will be past simple. The present continuous will be past continuous. Past simple will be past continuous, present perfect will be past perfect, can will be could, and will is going to change into would. So if the main verb is in the past, every tense will change one step back to the past. Look at this sentence on the screen. Nobody loves me. Someone says, someone who is very sad, and he's saying, nobody loves me. How can we report this sentence? How can we tell another person about what is the boy saying? We can say, what did he say? Someone didn't hear what the boy said. So he said, what did he say? He said that nobody loved him. As you see here, the verb loves in the present is changed into loved. Nobody loves me. He said that nobody loved him. Again, the pronoun me is changed into him. Because I'm not talking about myself, I'm reporting the sentence, I'm telling the sentence what the boy said to another person. So I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about the boy. He said that nobody loved him. Now look at these sentences describing the pictures and they change them into reported speech. He said, I am going to Paris soon. How can we change this sentence? We're going to say, she said that she was going to Paris soon. Notice here that I am going is changed into she was going. I am going, she was going. She said she was going. We can add that and we can omit it. So it's optional to use that. Another sentence, I said the film will be interesting. How can we change this into reported? I said that the film would be interesting. What is the change in this sentence? Will is changed into would. I said that the film would be interesting. He said, I can't help you because I have got too much to do. How can we change this into reported? He said that he couldn't help me because he had too much to do. What a change have you noticed about this sentence? The word can't is changed into couldn't. And the pronoun you changed into me. He said that he couldn't help me because he had too much to do. Notice here that the pronouns change depending on the view of the reporter. So when I'm talking directly about myself, I say I. But when someone reports what I said, he will say she or he. Me is changed into him or her. My is changed into his or her because we are talking about someone else. We are not talking about ourselves. And so on, as you see here in the table. What about the direct speech? John said, I'm cooking my dinner. What is the reported speech of this sentence? John said that he was cooking his dinner. So when John is talking about himself, he said, I am cooking. But when I talk about John, we said he was cooking his dinner. Look at this sentence and try to change them into reported speech and notice how the pronouns change. We said that we are not in the direct speech, we are talking about myself. I'm cooking my dinner. But when someone reports this word, he said she was cooking her dinner. So let's look at the sentences and change them into reported speech and see how the pronouns are changed into the past. Okay? I feel ill. Sandra said, I هنا will be changed into, Sandra is a girl, so we will say Sandra said she felt ill. I am going into town. Mark said, Mark هنا is a boy, so Mark said he was going to town. I studied music for 5 years. Alex said, Alex is a boy, so we say Alex said he had studied music for 5 years. As you see here, we not only change the verb into the past, but we also change the pronouns according to who is speaking. Sandra, so she felt ill. Mark, he's a boy, so he was going, and so on. Also, we have changes in the time expression. Time expression means expressions which tell the time, like tomorrow, next week, now, and so on. These expressions are also changed when we change the tense into the past. We change also these expressions. The expression now is changed into then. Today is that day. Because we are referring to something which happened in the past, we don't say today, we say that day. Tonight, that night. Yesterday, the day before, or the previous day. Tomorrow, the following day, or the next day. Next day, next week, next month will be the following day, the following week, the following month, or the following year. So anything related to the past will be before. So when I say yesterday, it's the day before. When I say last year, it's the year before. Anything related to the future will be the following. So instead of saying tomorrow, we say the following day. And instead of saying next year, we'll say the following year, and so on. Look at the example here. I saw Tom yesterday. John said that he had seen Tom the day before. Notice here that I saw Tom yesterday, so in the past simple. So it changed into the past perfect. It will be had seen. And yesterday is changed into the day before. So when you see the word the day before, you are going to use the past perfect tense. Okay? So the original sentence is in the past simple, but when you change it into reported, it's in the past perfect tense. I'm going to Lisa's party tonight. Maria said that she was going to Lisa's parties that night. So as you see here, the original sentence, I am going, is changed into was going. And the word tonight is changed into that night. As you see here, we are pointing to the time expressions which are changed. The word yesterday is changed to the day before, and the word tonight is changed to that night. There are some verbs which we use in reported speech. We change the word said to into told, but not only the verb tell or told, but we have other verbs. For example, if I say, I will get you a present, so you can say he promised he would get me a present. So the word promised. If I say, okay, I will go to the party with you, so I say he agreed to come to the party with me. When I say, yes, I stole the pen, I will change it, I admitted stealing the pen. Admit means confess, means say that he had committed a crime. So we can use these different verbs in reported speech. When we wanted to report something, not only we change said to into told, but we can say he promised, he agreed, he admitted, he threatened, he shouted, he claimed, he remarked, he thought, he complained, and so on. Okay, let me summarize. خليني ألخص لكم كده اللي قلته لغاية دلوقتي. تعالوا مع بعض كده. What have we said up till now? We talked about the reported speech, and we said that when we change from direct speech into reported speech, we have many changes. First of all, if the main verb is in the past simple, we change every tense in the sentence into the past. So if the original sentence is in the present simple, it will be past simple. If it is past simple, it will be past perfect, and so on. Again, we are going to change the pronouns. In the original sentence, I say, I am going to Paris, but when we change it, we say, she said she was going to Paris. So the pronoun is changed. First of all, we change the tense, then we change the pronouns. Again, we change the time reference. What is the time reference? For example, tomorrow will be the following day, or the next day, or the day after. And everything related to the past, like yesterday, will be the day before. Like last week, the week before. The word now will be then. So we have three changes. First of all, we change the tense. Second, we change the pronouns. And then we change the time reference. Okay? Now we have some sentences which don't change into the past. Let's remember them together. There are cases in which we don't change into the past. What are these cases? Let's see together. Number one, when the main verb is in the present simple. If the main verb is in the present, we don't change into the past. Okay, look at the sentence. We don't change the tenses or time expression in the following cases. The first case, he says, I am visiting Luxor next month. As you see here, the verb says, not said. It says in the present simple. So here we don't change the tense into the past. She says that she is visiting Luxor next month. There is no change in the sentence, only we change the pronouns. We don't change we don't change the verb or the time reference. So I am is changed into he is. I am visiting is changed into he is visiting. Here we don't change the tense. It's the same tense, present continuous. Okay. The second thing, we don't change the into the past when it is a fact. The teacher said to us, the Nile is the longest river in the world. Of course, this is a fact which doesn't change. It's something true which doesn't change. The teacher told us that the Nile is the longest river in the world. Of course, here the word said to in the past, but here we don't change the verb of the main sentence because it is a fact. So whenever you find a fact, don't change the verb into the past. The teacher told us that the Nile is. We can't say the Nile was because it is still the longest river in the world and it is a fact which doesn't change. So the word is, it remains is. So here we don't change the tense because it's a fact. Number three, when something is just said. When something is said just a short time ago, we don't change into the past. The teacher said just now, you will have a test tomorrow. The teacher said just now that we will have a test tomorrow. As you see here, the word will didn't change into would. بالرغم ان احنا عندنا الverb said in the past, but we don't change here will into would. Why? Because we have the word just now. Something which is just said, or it is just said a moment ago, will not change into the past. So the teacher said just now that we will have a test tomorrow. And as you notice here, we don't change the time reference. The word tomorrow will not change into the following day. Also, when the time reference doesn't change, if you find a sentence like this, she promised that she will visit us tomorrow. If you are going to choose here will or would, here we will use will, not would. Why? In spite of the verb is in the past simple, promised, we are not going to change will into would. Why? Because tomorrow doesn't change. The word tomorrow here didn't change into the past. بمعنى ان احنا لو لقينا tomorrow زي ما هي كده هنخلي will زي ما هي مش هنغيرها. لكن لو كانت tomorrow is changed into the following day, we are going to change will into would. Okay? So if you find the time reference without a change, the word tomorrow without a change. So you will not change the verb. You will not change the word will into would. If you find the word tomorrow is changed into the following day or the following or the day after, you will change will into would. Okay? So what are the cases in which we don't change the verb into the past? The first one, when the main verb is in the present simple. The second case, when we talk about a fact. The third case, when something is just said. We don't change into the past. Now let's have some examples and try to notice how we change these sentences into reported speech. Here we have the famous footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo said just now, I'm having a party next week. So when we change this sentence into the reported speech, we will say Cristiano Ronaldo said just now that he is having a party next week. Here we don't change the tense. I am having, he is having. This is the same tense, present continuous tense. Why didn't we change the tense here? Because it is something which is just said. Just now, this is the key which makes us don't change the verb. So I'm having, he is having. It's in the present continuous and we don't change it into the past. Okay, what about the reported question? When we change the reported question, look at this example. He said to me, where do you live? This is a question. It's not a sentence. It's a question. How can we change it into reported? He asked me. Here we use the verb asked because it's a question. So we say he asked me where. We use the word where or the question word as a linking word. He asked me where I lived. Here is an important notice for you. We don't use the question mark. We use a full stop because here it's not a question. It's a reported question, and in a reported question, it's in the form of a sentence, not in a question. So here we don't use a question mark, we use a full stop, and we don't use the auxiliary verb do. We change only the verb into the past. He asked me where I lived. We can't say he asked me where did I live. We can't say this is wrong. He asked me where I lived. So the most important thing in reporting the question is that you, if you have a word question, you will use it as a linking word. You're going to make a sentence, not a question. You're going to use a full stop, not a question mark. Look at another example. He said to me, can you swim? Here we don't have a word question. We don't have a why or where or when. We don't have a word question. So how can we link the two sentences? We link them with if or whether. So he asked me if I can swim. He asked me if I can swim or whether I can swim. This is an important notice, is that when we report a question, we don't use the interrogative form. We use the affirmative form, means the form of a sentence, not the form of a question. So we place the subject before the verb. So I say, I can, not can I. In reported question, we use the subject first, then the verb. We don't use the question form. And we delete the question mark and we add a full stop. This is very important. We don't use question mark, we use full stop. we have some other verbs which we can use instead of using ask. When he asks a question, we say he asked me. But also we can say he wonders, or he wants to know, or he inquires. What is the difference between these verbs? The verb ask is followed by object, so we can say he asked me. But the verb wonder, or wanted to know, or inquire isn't followed by a verb, so isn't followed by an object. So we can't say he wonders me. We can't say he wanted to know me. He wonders why, he wanted to know why, or he inquires about. So notes that these verbs are used in reported question, but there is a difference in using them. He said to me, "What's your name?" How can we change this sentence into reported? We can say he asked me what my name is. Of course, here we don't change the verb because my name doesn't change. My name is a fact or something which is always true, so we don't change it into the past. He asked me what my name is, not what is my name, what my name is, because it's not a question anymore, it's a sentence and we use a full stop. If we use inquired instead of using said, we are going to use inquire. We're not going to put me. We can't say he inquired me. No, he inquired about my name. He inquired about. He wanted to know what my name is. Again, here we can say he wanted to know me. He wanted to know what my name is. So asked only is followed by object to pronoun, but inquire and wanted to know aren't followed by object to pronoun. Look at another example. He said to me, "Why are you late?" He wondered why I was late. He wanted to know why I was late. So here, using wondered or wanted to know, we don't use object to pronoun. And again, we use I was, not was I. We can't say was I. We use sentence form, not question form. Here we have some practice for you, so look at the sentences and try to change them into reported speech. Please, every one of you have a pen and paper and try to report this sentence with me. Are you going to improve the traffic? Here we have a reporter is asking someone in the elections, someone is promising to do a thing, so the reporter is asking him, are you going to improve traffic? So how can we report this question? Are you going to improve traffic? Let's see what did he say? He asked if he was going to improve traffic. So in the original sentence, are you going is changed into he was going. And of course it's a question, so we say he asked. Another question, will you pay higher salaries? Will you pay higher salaries? How can we change it into reported speech? Of course, will be changed into would. Do you remember? Let's see, what did he say? He asked if he would pay higher salaries. He asked if he would pay higher salaries. As you see, we linked the two sentences with the word if. So if we have a word question, we use it. If we don't, we use if or whether. I'm going to clean the parks this year. This is a sentence. I'm going to clean the park this year. What did he say? He said that he was going to clean the park. So I'm going is changed into he was going. And this year is changed into that year. I will build a new bridge over the river this year. I will build a new bridge over the river this year. How can we change this sentence into reported? Of course, the word will be changed into, yes, very good. It will be changed into would. So what did he say? He said that he would. He said that he would build a new bridge over the river that year. Will you buy new buses for the city transport next year? Of course, here is a question. So when I say, what did he say? you will say he asked because it's a question. And the word will again will be changed into would. So what did he say? He asked if he would buy new buses for the city transport the following year. So next year is changed into the following year. Here we have another example. I'm going to eliminate pollution. What is eliminate pollution? Means to put an end to pollution. I'm going to eliminate pollution. What did he say? He said that he was going to eliminate pollution. Now we have an exercise for you. Let's do the exercise together. Question number 1. It's always hot at this time of the year. She said, always hot at this time of the year. It's, it has been, it was. Let's remember what we have said before. We said that if the verb said in the past, we'll change the verb into the past. But there are exceptions. There are cases in which we don't change into the past. When it is a fact, when it is something which is just said, or when the verb in the present. Okay, here the verb is in the past. She said. So some students will think that the answer is was. But here we're talking about a fact that it's always hot at this time of the year. For example, in August, it's always hot. So when I say it's always hot in August, can we change this into the past? No, because it's a fact. So here we will not change the verb into the past. So what is the correct answer? So the correct answer is, she said, it's always hot at this time of the year. Okay, so there is no change here because it's a fact. Question number 2. My sister, that I wore her dress without asking her. Of course, my sister is angry because I wore her dress without asking her. So my sister congratulated, apologized, said to, or complained. Yes, complained means that she's angry and she's saying why I wore her dress without asking her. So she complained that I wore her dress without asking her. We said that we can use verbs like complain, like agree, like admit, not only said or told. Question number 3. Rick Suzanne to pick her up at the station. Rick warned, wondered, said to, promised. Of course, here Rick, in the original sentence, tells Suzanne, I will pick you from the station. I will pick you up from the station. So this is a promise. So we say Rick promised Suzanne to pick her up at the station. Question number 4. She said that she really me as soon as she arrived. Of course, here the verb in the past, she said. So we are going to use the past. The original sentence, I will call you as soon as I arrive. So here, when it is into the past, she says that she would call me as soon as she arrived. Question number 5. 2 weeks ago, she said she's a museum the week before. You remember here we said that last week is changed into the week before. So the original sentence is in the past simple. And here we have to change it into the past perfect. So 2 weeks ago, he said that he had visited the museum the week before. So the original sentence, I visited the museum last week, is changed into he had visited the museum the week before. So we change the tense into the past. Question number 6. She said she was the best for the job. She claimed, told, said to, advised. Of course, here, if I say she said to, we must say she said to us. If I say she told, we must say she told us. And again, advised us. But she claimed. Claim doesn't take any object pronoun. So we say she claimed that she was the best for the job. Question number 7. Last year, the minister said that the crisis the following year. What is the crisis? The crisis means a problem. The problem which we face, a very big problem which we face. So the problem would overcome or would be overcome. Of course, here it's a passive, so the problem would be overcome. The last sentence, last month, the boss that none of his co-workers had to work overtime. So here the boss told us this information. So we say he explained, because if we say he told, I must say he told us. If I say he informed, we must say he informed us. But we can say he explained that. Explain doesn't take an object pronoun. So let me summarize what we have said in this unit. We explained the reported speech. We said that there are two types of sentences, the statements in which we change said into told, and we change the verbs into the past. But there are some cases in which we don't change into the past when it is a fact, or when it is something which is just said, or when the main verb is in the present simple. I wish the grammar lesson was very useful for you today, and I hope you will practice a lot, because practice makes perfect. Until we meet again, wish you best of luck. Goodbye.